My dear people of southern Cameroons, my brave warriors of Ambazonia, accept revolutionary greetings, accept liberation greetings from me, John Akuro. Today is April 22, 2022. This is a special day, of course. My people, I come today for us to examine some very interesting and important issues. There are some truths, my people of the southern Cameroons, that we all need to know. And once we know these truths definitely will help to set us free. The first of these major truths is that whether we like it or not, the train that took off in 2016 gained steam in 2017 must, must get to its destination. If you doubt it, go back to the videos of September 22, 2017 and look at the faces, the age groups, the composition of all those who filled the streets of the southern Cameroons, bearing peace plans and already celebrating that freedom that we are seeking. If you doubt it, look at the videos again around the world. In every major capital of the world, southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians were out in their thousands to send a clear message to the world. Unknown to a good lot of us, the world decoded that message. Even La République du Cameroun, that was taken seriously aback, understood from that day. It is not on another day that it dawned on La République du Cameroun that Ambazonia is real. It is not on any other day that it dawned on La République du Cameroun that southern Cameroons will be independent. It was on September 22, 2017, that it became very clear, the handwriting was on the wall, that no matter what La République du Cameroun does, no matter how long it takes, Ambazonia will be free. My people of the southern Cameroons, knowing this basic truth will help you determine how you operate as far as this struggle is concerned. My people of the southern Cameroons, I like us to take this word. I had the pleasure today of listening very carefully to the discussion between Chris Anu and Ambassador Tibonagi. And the first thing that I pick out from there and that I like us to pick and run away with is that Ambazonians will end up getting what they want. Ambazonians will end up getting what they want. Southern Cameroonians must end up achieving their objective, whether the world likes it or not. And he said the only thing is a matter of time. He said it may take a bit long and many more lives could be lost. More damage will be caused here and there. But one thing is certain, underline the word certain. The certainty here is that southern Cameroons will be free. Now take note of this. The significance of this statement becomes even more, this statement becomes even more significant when you analyze who is speaking it. I know most of us have not forgotten that Ambassador Tibonagi, when he was still U.S. Undersecretary of State in charge of African Affairs at the Bureau of African Affairs, said during a hearing at the U.S. Congress that thinking of independence for southern Cameroons now is unrealistic. And a lot of people got pissed off with that statement. La République du Cameroun got excited with that statement. But what we failed to look at that time, what we failed to analyze at that time, of course I did that, but a good lot of people still couldn't get it, was this is a foreign diplomat speaking, a foreign diplomat in function, whose word will not just be taken as his opinion, but as a policy position for his country. And so at that time, the policy of the United States of America was clearly not in favor of seeing an independent southern Cameroons. Of course, they had to wait until we demonstrate and prove that we know what we want. that we know how we will get there and that we are determined to get there, no matter how long. The world was waiting for us to demonstrate before each and everyone that we have counted the cost and we are ready to pay the price. Today, a lot of water has gone under the bridge. Time has passed, and the world has observed for itself that La République du Cameroun does not have the capacity to annihilate Ambazonia, to annihilate the southern Cameroons. The world is coming to terms gradually with the fact that no matter how much La République du Cameroun struggles to keep us in bondage, we will be free. The world is coming to terms with the fact that no matter how much La République du Cameroun struggles to divide and rule us, to break our ranks, to infiltrate our ranks, to send people in our midst who will call the true patriots agents of La République just to distract people from our messages, they will not succeed. La République du Cameroun will not succeed. The world is coming to terms with that. This is because of our collective resilience. This is because of the sacrifices and the determination and resilience of our people on ground zero. Because just by continuing to observe this country Sunday, this ghost towns every Monday for 5 years and counting, the message to the world is clear. La République du Cameroun has used all kinds of tactics. They used bribery and corruption to take away this day. It did not work. They used repression. It has not worked. They used all kinds of techniques. It has not, those techniques failed them. La République du Cameroun is completely out of ideas as far as this particular issue, as far as this particular act by the civil society to show the collective adherence of the critical mass of the people of the Southern Cameroon to our ideals of a free Southern Cameroon as strong. This is one thing the world sees. That is why La République du Cameroun has maneuvered in every way possible to take off just that day. Because as long as Monday continues to be observed as Ghost Towns Day, as Country Sunday all over Southern Cameroonians, in protest against what we all call colonial rule, the world knows it is not well. The world knows it will not be well. That is why La République du Cameroun tried to use even Switzerland to cancel this day by trying to trick some in our ranks to say, just by show us goodwill, call off ghost towns unilaterally, even just for 1 month, and then we will come to the table. Just because they are aware that if we call off this day and tell people, go about your normal activities for 1 month, and then after 1 month, we will go back to observing ghost towns, they know that by the time you are used to not respecting it for 1 month, for 4 weeks only, coming back to it will be complicated. But those who saw it cried out against it. But most importantly, our people on ground zero, they know what they want. They know what they want. They know the importance of this day. They recall that this day was very much like a pact entered into with the consortium. And it was an agreement that it is until we get to Boya, until we scream free, 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 at last we are free, will we call off Country Sunday. And it's got to be a ceremony. So my people of the Southern Cameroons, resilience pays. Let no one deceive you. Resilience pays. And our resilience is paying off today. Because, trust me, like Ambassador Tibonagi said, go back down the lane of history. You will find out that all agitations of our nature have ended up with independence. No matter how much the colonial power divides and rules. The most interesting example is that of East Timor and Indonesia. Look at the population of Indonesia. Look at the might of Indonesia. And then look at tiny East Timor. They were able to reign free from Indonesia. Nothing is going to hold the Southern Cameroons. my people of the Southern Cameroons, you want to know that La République du Cameroun has run out of ideas, that La République du Cameroun has run out of means, that La République du Cameroun is by itself recognizing that it will not be able to, outdo Ambazonia all alone. You want to recognize it, look at their actions. And I want to start from there. Take a look at this. You see, this picture comes out shortly after the other picture that we saw with the Cameroon Minister of Defense and the Russian Minister of Defense. When Cameroon's delegation was in Russia, in Moscow, another delegation was in Turkey, in Istanbul, still doing all these kinds of negotiations to ratify an 8-year-old security agreement with Cameroon, allowing joint operations against dissidents. At the same time that this delegation was in Turkey, yet another delegation was in China. If you take a careful look at the trajectory being taken by La République du Cameroun, my dear people of Ambazonia, you will understand that Yaound has told itself we can't do it by ourselves. We are unable to do it. We don't have what it takes to do it. The traditional partners do not have what it takes to enable us to do it. So we need to meet brutal systems. I mean, brutal and undemocratic systems that don't care about human rights. That is the direction that they are taking. La République du Cameroun has settled down and looked at the odds, weighed the odds, and said between France and losing the Southern Cameroons, better they toast France in the nostrils. That is why, despite observing the cold feet between France and Russia happening in Central African Republic, after seeing exactly what is happening between France and Russia, virtually exchanging serious barbs, with France actually using its proxies like Côte d'Ivoire and all the members of ECOWAS to fight Russia in Mali, La République decides to go in for Russia. They should tell you what it says. But again, take note that even those dogs that Russia has dispatched to other places have also been in other countries and failed to help deliver to the autocratic systems what they felt they would get. This is why, my people of the Southern Cameroons, we must gird our loins and get ready. This will not be the first time that La République du Cameroun has gone running amok. La République du Cameroun enlisted Chad. Of course, they got dogs from Chad. La République du Cameroun enlisted Equatorial Guinea. Of course, they got dogs from Equatorial Guinea. La République du Cameroun enlisted even Gabon. Of course, they got dogs from Gabon. All and focus on Southern Cameroons. They were unable to outdo our voices in the bushes. Listen, folks. This is the time more than ever before that it should dawn on us that the people of the Southern Cameroons are strong, that the fundamentals of our liberation movement are strong, and that we have what it takes to attain our objective. My dear people, all what we need to do is continue to remain strong. I have talked on this platform a lot about the need for synergy. I said it over and over and over again. Now, today I had a pleasure when I was watching Chris Ano talk with Ambassador Tibor Nagy. I heard him at least 5 times, mention the need for a united front, mention the need for synergy. Because in unity comes strength, and in unity comes some degree, some important level of recognition. Because like he said, one group comes in the morning, a delegation comes in the morning, meets international stakeholders. As they step out, the next delegation comes, still from the Southern Cameroons, meets the same stakeholders. As they step out, yet another delegation comes. My people, if we are able to pull this out, look at what happened when Mr. Frundi dared Ambazonia, dared the aspirations and the wishes of the majority of Southern Cameroonians. See what happened. All of us, everyone from their angle, we have been speaking the same language to Frundi. The same thing we have done with respect to the treasonable act committed by one IDP called Fon of Nso. That is the same spirit that we need to use, my people of the Southern Cameroons. This is what I talk about in terms of synergy. That is the spirit we should use. We don't need to sync our various movements, groups, and organizations. All we need to do is be able to speak one language. If you get up one morning and you find everyone calling him or herself activist for the Southern Cameroon's liberation cause, only focusing on Yaoundé and not on our various groups, movements, and organizations, and not on the various leaders, and not on personalities within our movement, trust me, that day alone, we will cover a lot of grounds. Synergy here simply means let us seize the fire against each other and focus all our attention on Yaoundé. That is where all our rockets and everything have to focus, not on ourselves. If you call yourself an activist in this movement, and every day you open your mouth, you are not talking about what is happening in Yaoundé, what is happening on the other side of the River Mungo, then you are not an activist for this movement, you are a surrogate. You are doing paparazzi, my people of the Southern Cameroons. So you saw there. And listen, when I looked at this tweet, I said, this is interesting. When Ambassador Nagy says, can't believe Cameroon government's incredibly bad timing of signing military deal with Russia at height of aggression in Ukraine. This is spoke in the eye of US and France, two countries Cameroon may need help from in future. But good for Ambazonians. Listen, this is good for Southern Cameroons. This is good for Ambazonians. But it will only be good for us if we descend into the trenches and do the heavyweight lifting. It will only be good for us if we settle down and strategize to take advantage of it. I listened to a question asked. When would the United States of America come in to assist us? And the answer was simple. When you people begin to speak in one language. When you don't have conflicting views coming at least from people who have the same ideology. So for those of us who stand for the independence of the Southern Cameroons, if we are able to bunch together at least at the level of our messaging, that makes things easier. But if we continue to be scattered, who do you come in for? I'm not like saying, my people of the Southern Cameroons, that we have not covered a lot of grounds as far as this movement is concerned, even in these first rounds. But our speed could be faster. I have said here before, opportunity is on the way. Opportunity is on the way. Opportunity is on the way. Shall we seize it? Because this liberation movement for the people of the Southern Cameroons could be one of the shortest in history. I repeat, it could be one of the shortest in history. All we need to do, put our acts together. All we need to do, set aside greed for now. All we need to do, keep politics away from this movement at this specific point in time. All we need to do is keep away our greed for money and focus on the movement. My people of the Southern Cameroons, on the other side of the River Mungo, it is terrible. It is horrible. Just what I'm going to be talking about in a very short while. On the other side of the River Mungo, it is not good news. La République du Cameroun will find them running up and down. No, it is not going. That is why we need to strengthen our ranks. That is why we need to strengthen the lines. That is why we need to understand that it depends on us first before on any other entity for us to attain our objective. No one will do it for us. We are the ones who will set the tone. And so I want to use this opportunity, my people of the Southern Cameroons, to draw our attention to some important issues we often hear, but we decide to neglect. We often listen to, but we decide to allow sentiments to govern us. Listen, my people, it is true that you need your heart to move you to certain directions, but We cannot prosecute this liberation movement with the heart. We need the head. We need the head to drive this movement to the place we are heading to. In 2019, I made clear to our people that the government of La République du Cameroun had not given any mandate for any international mediation with Switzerland. And that what the government of La République du Cameroun was doing was simply playing to the gallery. And I urged our people of the southern Cameroons not to pay any attention to this distraction. And I said, if we must commit, let us ask to see a mandate from La République du Cameroun. Now today, I'm not amazed, I'm not surprised. I am simply happy to see that Chris Ano, who is one of the architects of the continuous, brainwashing, excuse me the word, of our people, that there is some international mediation being conducted by Switzerland, was able to confess at least that he had a talk with some senior government officials in Cameroon and who made clear to him that there is no mediation between La République du Cameroun and the southern Cameroons. There is no such process involving the government of Switzerland. Did you hear that? Very clearly. And he said, they made clear that they are willing to cooperate with the NGOs, Swiss Peace and HD, for specific reason. And that is why you look at the activities of Swiss Peace, they are clear. Of course, I saw the same people who signed up to that so-called process crying now foul at the activities of Swiss Peace. And I say, when you carry ant-infested firewood into your home, don't be surprised when lizards come visiting. Don't get angry when lizards come visiting, because it's an open invitation. My people of the southern Cameroons, we shall not keep crying over spilled milk. But what I want simply is that today, more than ever before, we all leave hypocrisy aside and recognize that there is no such thing as a Swiss mediation. And forget about talks of mediation right now and focus our attention on getting La République du Cameroun to begin thinking of negotiations. Yes, we can. If we will simply focus, we will be able to attain that objective. My people of the southern Cameroons, I want to use this opportunity to draw the attention of a good lot of us who are still standing on the fence, who keep calling yourselves federalists or unionists, or who keep dreaming that you will ever have recognition in La République du Cameroun. I have said this over and over. In my last broadcast, I said, while I was still in the Advanced School of Mass Communication, Professor Emmanuel Tata Mentang, the iconic Professor Tata Mentang, made this statement. He said, no matter how much militancy you show in the CPDM, at the time we weren't talking Southern Cameroon, we weren't talking about party politics. He said, because of identity politics, simply because the base of the opposition was in the Southern Cameroons, as long as you speak English, as long as you're identified as being from the Southern Cameroons, no matter how much militancy you show in the CPDM, you will never be trusted. And listen, please, take this from me seriously. I think I want to get closer so that you have the opportunity to look straight into my eyes as I speak, to understand where I'm coming from. I operated as a communications consultant to some Southern Cameroonian members of government in La République du Cameroun, some of the most ardent supporters of the CPDM. Listen, folks, when they are out of those places, out of their offices, they weep more than you and I do. When you listen to them, you understand they need this independence more than you and I do. And they will be clear and frank. Look, these people, they don't trust us. They can't treat us properly. And they will give you instances. And you will look at them and say, but these are people that you see up there. You say, oh, these are the gods and all. No, but they live on tears on a daily basis. Where they are, they don't know how to be able to tell you, please help us out. But unfortunately, because of the ramifications that tie them in that system, they are forced to continue to fight hard and be seen to be fighting so hard to keep us and them in that bondage in which they find themselves. And so to those of you who mistakenly follow them, who mistakenly continue to believe that what they are telling you is the truth, that Southern Cameroon, that Ambazonia is a pipe dream, I want to particularly go to this. People like this one, who continue to try to mislead our people, to try and make you feel, by people of the Southern Cameroons, that Ambazonia will never be a reality, and who continue to want to feed on what they call some divide and rule. I'm sure they should have the opportunity to listen to the international personalities who tell them, whether you like it or not, Ambazonia will get what they want. Ambazonia will be free. So to Peter Mafani Musonge, who says the Southwest will never be used as a breeding ground for Ambazonia terrorists, sons and daughters of the Southwest should stick together and thank the head of state for liberating our region from foreign influence. Now, I said in my last broadcast, and just what I said a while ago, that no matter what you do, as long as you're from Southern Cameroons, they know that pertinently in your heart of hearts, you are an Ambazonian, even if you deny. If you doubt, just listen to this excerpt. It's in French, but I'll come back and explain.
Il faut comprendre que lorsque j'ai demandé à M. Peter Mafani Musonga, voilà ce que je lui ai dit. Monsieur Mafani, il faut faire attention parce que vous êtes du sud-ouest. Ayouk Tabé est du sud-ouest. Et vous êtes membre du comité central là-bas. Il y a Eric Tato, est du sud-ouest. C'est un ambazonien, celui qui demande qu'on coupe les mains à tout ce qu'on trouve dans les champs du sud-ouest et du nord-ouest. Et il y a encore Chris Anon. Il est du sud-ouest comme toi. Parce qu'il y avait deux personnalités du sud-ouest. Elvin Golem, mon collègue de lyrique, il a tout vu. Mais politiquement, vous ne pouvez pas leur consacrer le temps pour instituer un dialogue pour que les représentants de votre village, de votre région, ne deviennent pas des personnes violentes. Moi, je l'ai fait à Yabassi. À Yabassi, on s'est battu pour la paix lorsque certains compatriotes anciens Minirex voulaient instituer la guerre. Le rôle d'un militant, d'un haut cadre, c'est d'abord de maîtriser sa région. Vous êtes ici, vous mangez le couscous, vous construisez les maisons. Vous venez maintenant traduire au conseil de discipline les enfants des autres zones. Si nous, on n'avait pas maîtrisé nos régions, ma mère est étonnée, et Yébéa ici vit encore. Donc Soumet qui était là est témoin. Moi, je vais battre campagne en tant que petit-fils de la Léquier. Et je me bats pour que la Léquier ne tombe pas en crise. Mais vous, au sud-ouest, ma famille, il est là, hein, bien assis. C'est celui qui avait demandé un jour à ses compatriotes à Manta, je me rappelle, lors de gêne, un camarade membre du comité central qui m'a dit God forbid, ma famille nous fait honte. Je lui ai dit pourquoi. Il est venu dire que ce sont les ressortissants du nord-ouest qui viennent créer les conflits au sud-ouest. C'est lui qui convoque illégalement une commission pour venir punir un petit-fils Ewondo. Parce que la maman de ma mère est Ewondo Darala, ici à côté. À Momo Viena. Elle est Ewondo. Attendez, madame, vous allez voir.
Je vous écoute, je vous écoute.
Bon, et vous allez voir que je suis un petit-fils Ewondo. Et Doua. Il n'y a pas de guerre chez les Ewondo. Ma grand-mère maintenant, à Momo Viena, est originaire du Foudi. Sa mère vient d'Akono. Elle était très proche de parenté à Maître Mourotou. Il n'y a pas de guerre dans la Moufou Kono. Il n'y a pas de guerre ici à Yaoundé, où ma grand-mère est née, Edouard Dahara. Mon grand-père, Obamongola, a laissé des fils dignes, comme les Faranviena. Et quand je remonte un peu plus, chez les Étones, Messanga, c'est un nom Manguissa. La grand-mère à ma mère paternelle, elle est Manguissa, d'un camp époque. Chez les Étones, il n'y a pas de guerre. Chez les Manguissa, qui sont mes arrière-grands-parents, il n'y a pas de guerre. Ramenez au littoral, La mère à mon père est Douala. Mais à quoi? Vous avez vu la guerre? Donc voilà donc un monsieur, Mafani Moussonga, qui veut amener les gens à se soulever parce que illégalement, il prend sur son dos conformément à une bêtise qu'ils ont eu à faire. Je vous assure, chers compatriotes, si vous étiez dans la salle, quand je leur demande donc qu'est-ce qui justifie la légalité de cette commission, après avoir évoqué ce texte, Dembi Yebe, il faut comprendre que lorsque j'ai demandé à
My people of the southern Cameroons, you have listened to Professor Charlemagne Mesanganyamding very well. You see, I know that there are quite a lot of you who understood what he was talking about very clearly. For those who do not understand, a word in French, I want to do a very quick summary. Charlemagne Mesanganyamding is here chastising Peter Mafani Musonge, chastising Professor Elvis Ngole and the Minister of Supreme State Audit. And he particularly picks on Peter Mafani Musonge regarding the picture I showed to you a while ago. And he says, Peter Mafani Musonge is someone who sits down and claims like a buffoon that the people of the area they call Northwest are the ones who can bring disorder, who bring trouble and all whatnot to his region called Southwest. And here Charlemagne Mesanganyamding is reminding Peter Mafani Musonge that the key leaders of our liberation movement are from the same region like him. That's why he calls names like Eric Tato. That's why he calls names like Chris Ano. Calls names like Comrade Sisiku Julius, Ayuk Tabe. In fact, he calls a good lot of names from the same region as Peter Mafani Musonge to remind him that you can never try to bring to try to extricate yourself from what is happening. And ask him, what have you done to bring peace to your region? That you can come and sit and be judging people from other regions who are working so hard to maintain peace in their regions. You can't solve a little speck in your eyes or a rock. The rock that's in your eyes. You're coming to look for little specks in the eyes of others. And he berates Peter Mafani Musonge as saying, one of his friends of Southern Cameroon's extraction, and who is also a member of the CPDM Central Committee, said they were so ashamed and embarrassed at the personality of Peter Mafani Musonge for making such callous statements. But of course, my people of the Southern Cameroons, that is who Peter Mafani Musonge is. I had time to talk about him before, and I'm not going to delve back into that now. But what is amazing here is that citizens of La République du Cameroun are coming out clean today to tell us that they are aware of that manipulation, are coming out clear to tell us that the divide and rule that the so-called elite, to which Peter Mafani Musonge tried to drive in the situations between the people of the Southern Cameroons, those they call Southwest and those they call Northwest, that argument will never prosper. It goes exactly to what I've said here before. And if we listened to Nambere, the renegade, Nambere said, those people, as long as you are from Southern Cameroons, you are an enemy, period. They don't care where you come from. They don't care what you appear to be doing to keep your people in bondage for them. They don't care whatever you say. They don't care which side you stand. You are a Southern Cameroonian. They treat you the same like they would treat every other Southern Cameroonian. When Nambere said it, we could have said, oh, Nambere is a renegade. Today, we are hearing it from the mouth of a member of the Central Committee of the ruling party, someone who makes clear to us how close he is to all the personalities of the state, including the president of their country, Mr. Paul Biya. Listen, I've said here before that when people show you or tell you whom they are, believe them the first time. My people of the Southern Cameroons, If you were still rising and standing and saying, no, I will do this so that they should see that I am with them, trust me, you heard from Charlemagne Mesanga Nyamding today that you will be placed on the same pedestal like John Bakuro, whom you refer to as a separatist. Listen, why waste your energy in something that you know will end up as unproductive labor? These truths are sacrosanct, my people. I said it before and I want to come back to it. Let us be very clear about this. La République du Cameroun is a sinking ship. Those of you who continue to pour your all in La République du Cameroun, who continue to bet on La République du Cameroun as far as this movement is concerned, who will be misguided as John Frundi, who missed a great opportunity to be quiet. I mean it, because Mr. John Frundi missed a golden opportunity to be silent. Those of you who will continue to miss such opportunities as him, you are setting grounds for regret tomorrow. Because Southern Cameroon is real. Because the citizens of La République du Cameroun already know that we are good to go. I said on this platform early enough in this movement that I had the opportunity, the rare opportunity, to be at the residence of the late Martin Bellinga Ebutu, who was director of the civil cabinet forever, who had been the Cameroon ambassador at the United Nations, the Cameroon's permanent representative at the United Nations for a long time. That while I was at the International Relations Institute at R&eacute, because Professor Charlemagne Mesanga Nyamding, like I said before, when he opened his mouth and said trash about Southern Cameroonians and against him, I was at R&eacute, I was a student. When I read international relations, specializing in communications and international public policy. Listen, my people, I had the rare opportunity to be at the home of Martin Bellinga Ebutu. He did not know that the cream of students he was receiving included someone from Southern Cameroon. Because, of course, we're all speaking French. I speak French, real good French. And I'm proud about that because I told myself, if you want to understand a people, you want to know what they are doing against you, learn their language. And when they speak, you will hear. And when you speak among them, they'll feel that you are one of them. And when they go ahead saying their things, planning how to undo you, they will think you are one of them and you are going to be part of the plan that they are carrying out. And so, my people, he said very clearly, this was way back in 2010. Mr. Bellinga Ebutu said, I don't know how we got to this, but the TV was on and something came up and there was a mention of SCNC. I started talking, he said, ces gens, nous on sait, ils nous quitteront. Those were his words. That these people, we know, we are aware, they will leave us. Ils nous quitteront. This explains very clearly to you why La République du Cameroun never ever bothered investing in developing anything in the Southern Cameroons. This explains to you why they treated us as a conquered land where they only plunder, they only take. That is why they cleared Cameroon Bank. That is why they cleared the National Produce Marketing Board. That is why they cleared all the equipment from WADA. That is why they cleared all the equipment from PWD. That is why they did everything to shut down the power plant in Yoke, to make us totally dependent, just to see for how long they'll be able to keep us and exploit us, because they knew, they were aware that one day we will go. This is not hearsay. I didn't hear from somebody. I heard from the horse's own mouth. And I knew my classmates who were with me were embarrassed, and there was no way they could tell him that one of them is standing right before you here. When we left, we were commenting about it, and they were like, oh, don't mind, you see these old people, they have that kind of mentality. So I was like, okay, there's no problem. But what I want to say, my people of the Southern Cameroons, and for those of you investing in La République du Cameroun, investing your energy, your thoughts, your mind, your efforts in La République du Cameroun, take note that just as Ambassador Thibaut Nagy said on Chris Arnold's platform, La République du Cameroun is aware, they know more than every other person, that Southern Cameroons will be free. And that is why all they have done and continue to do even this minute is plunder. That is why no matter how much we are fighting even now, they are continuing to plunder as much as possible. When a thief comes in, he has to take and take and take because they don't know when they will be caught or when they will be ejected. So, my people of the Southern Cameroons, these are fundamental truths that we all need to know. Because, like I say, when you know this truth will set you free. Go back and read what happened to those elites of East Timor who were headstrong, who refused to listen to wise words like this ones I'm sharing with you. I call them wise words personally. In the end, they had only their eyes to cry when absolutely East Timor became independent. Nothing, I mean absolutely nothing, will hold down the Southern Cameroons. I suppose that Mr. Frundi is listening to me and watching me, that he will understand that the bad dream he had, that he had always known that the Southern Cameroons liberation movement will get to nowhere, let him get back to bed. You need to sleep again and ask for the right dream. Because my people of the Southern Cameroons, nothing is as real as the independence of the Southern Cameroons that is right ahead. And I'm going to be proving to you in the next few minutes just exactly where La République du Cameroun is. What we are seeing before us is a mirage. What we are seeing before us, La République du Cameroun, is only fighting to put a show, to raise some kind of leviathan that frightens us to think that we have lost, so that we give up just when we are close to our victory. This is what I have to say. While we are all talking about the TPS, I mean, everybody is excited that the United States of America has approved and extended the TPS, or the temporary protected status, to the people of the Cameroons in the United States of America. I mean, I want to say this because when I saw this tweet, it dawned on me about something. This is a tweet from Comrade Boherbert, and he says, TPS was won thanks to activism by Southern Cameroonians and congressional hearings featuring human rights and Pentagon experts. At Potus, that's referring to the president of the United States of America, granted in U.S. national interest to end war crimes, atrocity crimes, and genocide in Ambazonia, not Boko Haram attacks. But there is one other catch to this statement. This message you see here is because in our ranks, some groups, some movements, some individuals are trying to sell the fake notion that it is because of their personal policies, because of their personal and the individual activities of their group, that this move, that we ended up with the TPS. That is because of their activity, the strength of their diplomacy, because they're very tactful, they're everything. That is why Comrade Boherbert, in a veiled manner, tries to recall and to remind the people of Southern Cameroons that not a single entity alone achieved this feat. That it was the collective victory of all Southern Cameroonians. Because like I said before, just you on ground zero who are respecting the ghost towns, you contributed in making this possible. And let me tell you how. Because just by respecting the ghost towns and making the place ungovernable and making it impossible for La République du Cameroun to sell the illusion to the world that normalcy has returned, it makes the place unattractive to send back people who are running away from there. That is the fundamental basis of a TPS. It is not just about the lobbying. It is about what is happening on the ground. I mean, just your respect of the ghost towns. I said that at the beginning of this broadcast. So my people of the Southern Cameroons, don't sit in Ambazonia and think you did not work hard to achieve this feat. You are the first reason why the TPS has been extended to Cameroon. You are the first reason. By your resilience, by your determination, and by your commitment to this movement, you did it. Our voices in the bushes who have decided that they are no longer afraid of death and that they will stand on the front lines until we get to Boya. Credit them. It is by their activism that TPS was extended to Cameroon. It is because of the activities of all those who even alone organized demonstrations all over the world. Don't tell me that somebody who is in Europe because he's not in America should do his or her own thing in Europe because they were not in America and they didn't do the diplomacy here. Just shut up. I insist, just shut up. Because I like to make clear every single action taken by any Southern Cameroonian, wherever, that helps to keep this movement alive will contribute in attaining victories like this one. Every single action, and that is why I call on a collective responsibility and collective will to continue to keep this liberation movement alive. Each and every one of us has a monumental contribution. Even those whose voices you don't hear on social media, whose faces you don't see like you are seeing mine, they are doing a great job to make sure we continue to get results like that one. This is fundamental for us to understand. The role of a leader is not to claim that I did it. The role of a leader is not to come up with all the great ideas. The role of a leader is to create an environment in which great ideas can happen. So all we need to do in leadership in this movement is create an enabling environment in which all Southern Cameroonians, like we see Ukrainians, will be so proud and mobilized towards the sole objective of ensuring the freedom of our land. The haste we often demonstrate in rushing to claim, oh, I'm the one who did this. Sometimes, when those of us making that claim have no idea, no idea at all how it even happened, is one of the things that have bedeviled this movement. I'm proud of all Southern Cameroonians, all Ambazonians, who have continued to contribute in whatever way they can without seeking to be acknowledged, because they know that the greatest prize is the big satisfaction we will all have once there is homeland. The greatest pride is the free country we will bequeath to future generations of Southern Cameroonians after us. I like to say this, my people of the Southern Cameroons. As I pointed out earlier at the beginning, that La République du Cameroun is at the place where we really would have loved it to be already. Just that we have not taken note. Why have we not taken note that La République du Cameroun has been so economically disabled that they're exactly where we had planned, we had wished, we had worked hard to get them at? Because we are busy, distracted by fighting ourselves. That's why we haven't taken note. That's why we are not paying attention. And that is why on this platform, I continue to remind us that we have La République du Cameroun right now exactly where we wanted to have them at this point in time. And that all we need to do is focus again to completely get them out of our land. This is what should be the focus of our action, the focus of our thoughts, the focus of everything we do. People, if you doubt that La République du Cameroun is exactly where we wanted it to be, I told you, listen, traditionally, the budget is executed from January. In previous years, in so many years back, they often had when there was a lot of difficulties, they had the habit of beginning the execution somewhere about a month and a half or two, so that the vote holders don't have the time to consume the entire state budget, because don't forget, the state budget are just projections. And so they are seeing for themselves the money is not there. So my people, I've said it and I repeat, today is April 22. We're on a Friday. By the time it is Monday, will already be on April 25. Of course, that is virtually the end of the month. 5 days to the end of the month. And that will be 4 months into the year, into a fiscal year. The budget of La République du Cameroun is not yet in execution. Do you want any other evidence? I've said call anyone. If you're in Bamenda, you're in Boya, you are in Douala, call any vote holder and ask them if they've received their credit card, the yellow cartons, the credit cards that will enable them to start consuming the allocations that are enshrined in the state budget for them. There is no money. That is why the cards are not going out. Don't forget, the first semester ends in June. And so we're at the end of the month of April. And so you have just May and June left. And trust me, if you're not careful, even by mid-May, the credit cards will still not be out. Because there is no money. When you see La République du Cameroun running amok to China, to Turkey, to Russia, it is because they no longer have the money to buy the military hardware to cause headache in Ambazonia. So they are now moving to places where they can beg for the material. That's why you see, they say the cooperation, military cooperation, exchange in terms of training, exchange in terms of whatever. Of course, they will not tell you that involves equipment. I have that agreement, at least a blanket version of the agreement. And I'll be here on Sunday to dissect the agreement, because it is in French, and a good lot of us don't understand it, to dissect the agreement line by line and let us understand what is enshrined in it. So you know exactly that La République du Cameroun is exactly where we had expected it to be. But because we are distracted, we are not paying attention, we have not noticed that La République du Cameroun is completely defeated. And that all we need to do is focus to simply get them out of our land. My people, like I said, besides the credit card, if you know anyone who graduated from ENAM, who is a treasurer, that's what they call inspecteur de trésor, receveur, or whatever, inspecteur de trésor, contrôleur de trésor, inspecteur principal de trésor, you know any taxation official from ENAM, who they call inspecteur des impôts, that's tax inspectors, or tax controllers, or whatever. You know any custom official from ENAM, ask them whether they have been paid the quarterly bonuses that they are supposed to be paid every 3 months, whether they have received the bonus for the last quarter of 2021. I've not said for the first quarter of 2022 because the budget is not even in execution, so forget about that. Ask them if they have received their bonuses for the last quarter of 2021. A lot of them were waiting for that money to use for Christmas, for the Christmas festivities. They did not get it. There is no money in the coffers. A lot of them were waiting for that money that, okay, if we didn't have it before Christmas, we'll have it perhaps in January or until we are now in April, getting towards the end of April, they have not received it. What they call prim, if you don't understand what I mean by bonuses, they call that prim. They have not been paid it. No, there is no money. If you doubt, pick your phone as I'm talking. I don't say things that can't be verified. Pick your phone and live inside that system. By day and by night, I get into that system to get out this information, to let Southern Cameroonians know that we have La République du Cameroun exactly where we wanted to have them right now. All what we need is concentrate and finish the job. So if you are doubting, call anyone. Customs inspector, tax inspector, treasury inspector, any of them. Ask them if they receive these bonuses. But if you don't have the contacts of any of those ones, maybe they're so privileged, now do another thing. Get to magistrates. You know the magistrate in Bamenda, in Boya, or any of those places? Pick your phone, call them, and ask them if they have been paid emoluments for the year 2021. I mean emoluments for the year 2021, the entire year 2021. I've not yet started talking about the first quarter of 2022. Ask them if they have been paid any emoluments. These are things that show you. I don't want you to be looking so much up, left, right, down. No. The last time I said here that the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife of La République du Cameroun has been at loggerheads with Greenpeace because they were forced to take out companies to which they had handed forest concessions to exploit in the area they call southwest of the southern Cameroons. They call it southwest region. They had given the forest concessions to exploit. They cannot exploit because we have made it impossible for them to exploit. And so the government, hooked on the neck, had to take them and give them concessions in places which were considered to be reserves in the east. And so Greenpeace is at loggerheads with the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife of La République du Cameroun. This is because we are getting La République du Cameroun where they ought to be. My people, you can't be winning and yet you don't want to be aware that you are winning. You can't be getting someone exactly where you wanted them to be, yet you don't want to take time to examine to find out that that is where they are. All what La République du Cameroun is struggling to do is foster a lot of division among us, cause us to concentrate on attacking each other so that we don't take note of where they stand right now. My people of the Southern Cameroons, on this platform, by day and by night, my focus is letting us Southern Cameroonians know exactly where we have got to La République du Cameroun to. That is why they now have to transform even COVID into a tax. That's why to get a COVID tax now, 30,000 CFA. And trust me, I said it here the last time. Before long, you will hear that there are buildings you can't enter if you don't show your COVID test dating just 3 days back. There are places you will not be able to go to if you don't show your COVID test results dating only 3 days back, because it is a tax. They don't have money. La République du Cameroun is crumbling. And you need to know about this. You need to know so that we are encouraged, so that we are aware that we have made tremendous progress in spite of all the efforts of La République du Cameroun to struggle to divide and rule us. But our divide sometimes has been a curse to La République du Cameroun. But at this time, this is the time to keep aside the divide because it has played its role and begin focusing on synergy to attain this objective. My people, look at the prices of basic commodities in La République du Cameroun are reaching a different level. You read from Enio that soon there will not be fuel for anybody because Enio itself is going to increase the level of darkness in La République du Cameroun because there is no petrol, no fuel. Am I speaking? Am I making sense to someone? I guess if I upload a lot of information at once, you may get confused. So my people, just so we know, don't allow yourself to be derailed. You see some people who come and say, I'm a child of the Southwest. No child of the Southwest would. I look at them and I laugh. You heard Charlemagne Mesanganyamding. If you didn't hear him, if you joined late, go back and you will hear him. He is not just speaking. Listen, that very explosive conversation that Charlemagne Mesanganyamding had on one television channel in La République du Cameroun in French, I'm going to upload the entire version in French on this platform, just so that if you didn't have the opportunity to, watch it where it was, you watch it. You may pick one or two little things. When you hear him talk, you know La République du Cameroun has completely crumbled. No one is afraid of anybody again in that system because it is the end of an era. This is opportunity I've talked about. We are almost there. So let us make hay while the sun shines. To God be the glory.